Hello, we're back with you. I'm Diane Nix at the SBC Women's Expo, and we hope that you'll join us on our screens if you're in this venue and in this area, and you'll listen in to my next guest. We're just interviewing our exhibitors. We're giving them an opportunity to stream just this short little podcast because we know that you need to know about what they have to offer you, because there's some incredible ministries in this area that have things to offer you as the woman in leadership in your church that's going to impact not only impact you, but impact the church for the better, for the kingdom's work, right?
Yeah,
and for the
absolutely.
gospel. And today I am with a new friend by the name of Erika Porter.
Yes, ma'am.
And I am so glad that she's here. We were just talking about the comment. I'm a Texas girl, Texas native, moved away and not been back there and not lived there. But I've said to Texans when I've spoken in Texas, if you ever close your borders, somebody needs to let me know.
So you can hurry back?
So I can hurry back. I've got the birth certificate to prove it, that I am a native Texan.
Yeah.
Because Texas could do that, you know.
We could do that.
You could do that. I also have said that when I fly over Texas, my hair just naturally gets bigger.
We'll take both of those things.
I love, once a Texan, always a Texan.
Amen.
And we're kind of arrogant a little bit.
Just a little bit. Not much.
So, Erika, tell me about your ministry. Give me your name of your ministry.
Sure.
And what your role is there.
Absolutely. So I work for a ministry called Embrace Grace.
Yeah.
And I am the outreach coordinator. And what we do is work to help inspire and equip the church to love on single and pregnant women.
I love that.
And we want to make sure that every woman who finds themselves in a season of unplanned pregnancy has a church to go to for spiritual and physical support where they can become a family. And so we are, I myself work with the pregnancy resource centers because we partner with pregnancy centers as well as churches.
Right.
I like to say that we're the bridge between the pregnancy resource center and the church.
Yeah.
The pregnancy center has a very specific set of things that they do, but we know that those women need the Lord and they need the church.
And ongoing need the Lord, but ongoing need the bridge to help step into the church.
Exactly.
Because the pregnancy center, so my experience has been, they're so busy just doing the first
Acute emergency room
like
care.
the trauma
Yeah.
moment.
Yes.
And it is trauma for an unplanned pregnancy.
Absolutely.
And just taking care of that initial steps to take. And so you're saying that you guys step in and say, hey, let's link arms.
Right.
And we know of churches in the area that are going to welcome this young woman in, or this, maybe not a young woman, but just welcome this woman
right.
in. And we'll help her alongside of her, walk us alongside of her
Absolutely.
during this time.
Absolutely.
And what a great ministry that is. What a great, great ministry. So your primary focus is to that woman out there.
Yes.
That
Who is single and pregnant and doesn't know where to turn. And sometimes we have women who have had some history or background with the church or with the Lord, and for whatever reason it hasn't turned out positively. And so we want to get them back where we know that they need to be, and we want them to have a safe place to land. So we really just want to encourage the church to do what the church is really called to do already.
Right.
And we want to make sure that that woman doesn't walk into a church where she is feeling shame when she's there.
Well,
and
she's
she
already
shows up
walking
that way.
in shame,
She
right?
is walking in shame already. And so we want her to have a safe place to walk into where she can be in community with other women or girls in the same season.
Right.
And then have women who are seasoned come alongside them and disciple and love on them and support them. But it's really important to really just meet these women where they are so that we can get them into the body so that we can do the rest of the work.
Really, and you just answered the question that I was going to ask next, was really what do you do for those women? And that is great that you would go ahead and go in that direction, because I think in the world that we're living, this culture, this gender-driven culture, where you're going to have women coming in that are already even struggling with their own identities, their own gender, but there is a physical makeup that gets us into compromising situations.
That's right.
And if they don't, whether or not they're in the church, I mean, sometimes we've had some church hurt.
Yeah.
And so these women don't know that they are in the safest place when they're in the church, even
Right.
in sometimes a worse situation where a church is maybe harsh on you.
Yeah.
It could be, no, I'm not talking about abuse or anything
No,
like that.
absolutely, yeah.
But just kind of condemning.
Condemnation, right. They feel
Condemnation.
that, right.
And not helping them walk through the shame aspect of it.
Right.
But you're saying to me that you actually have churches that you're already connected to, so that with the different places where Embrace Grace has a place.
Right.
Because do you have different places across the U.S.?
Yes, ma'am. We
So
are
tell
in
me about that.
50. We are in all 50 states.
Wow.
And we are in 7 countries.
I love that.
But we are always looking for new church partnerships that will come alongside and walk this out with women. We are often accused in this pro-life world of wanting to save the baby, but we don't want to just save the baby. We want to save that woman. We want to save her family, and we know that is done through finding a relationship with Jesus Christ. And so, in order to do that, they need to find a body that can help them see that. So we do that by helping the church host a 12-week curriculum.
Okay.
There are testimonies of other women who have been through Embrace Grace.
Okay.
They talk about where they started and where they are now after having gone through the program. The gospel is presented to them. At the end of that 12 weeks, the church hosts a baby shower for them because we want to meet their spiritual need, but we also need to meet that practical, physical, tangible need.
Yes.
And so that allows for them to create a safe space, build relationship with these women and connect.
Yes.
And then that allows them to see that they are in a safe church, that they are in a safe body, that they can come here and do life with these people, and that that the church is going to walk alongside them and disciple and help them grow.
That's incredible. I love it. I don't think I realized that you were in 50 states.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Wow.
Absolutely.
So, nonprofit,
Nonprofit.
raise your own money,
We do.
do a lot of fundraising.
A lot of that.
A lot of fundraising. I mean, I'm a nonprofit and I totally get it. Like, you're just like on the fundraising
The circuit all
train.
the time, all
Right.
the time. We don't get off that train.
Yeah,
right.
no, that train never stops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I totally get that. So, do you have a lot of women coming in that are struggling with their gender?
I think women right now are struggling with their identity, period,
Yes,
in
me
every
too.
kind of way. I think, there are those that have that gender aspect to it, and we see a little bit of everything in our
Yeah.
groups. And those of us that work in the Embrace Grace ministry, we work for the ministry, but we also do the small groups
Okay,
ourselves. So
okay.
we are leaders in those groups. So we get to see what's going on with these girls
Yeah.
and with these women on the other side. So yeah, there definitely is a
for
lot
sure.
of identity
Yeah.
issue going on.
Yeah, there is. And so that leads me to this. I've lost my train of thought for just a second. Do you ever do that?
Yeah, I do actually.
But that leads me to this conversation as we're wrapping up our time together, is that we're just talking about, the gospel is a hard place and ministry is hard.
Yeah.
And these women's lives, they come in not only with shame, but other brokenness.
Right.
And the shame is just piled on.
Absolutely.
So what has it cost you to be in ministry? Has it cost you something?
It is working in this pro-life. That's the whole term pro-life is tricky. And so we like to say pro-love is the new pro-life.
Yes.
And so we want to come from a place of love. And so what it has cost me personally is friends don't always agree with that stance and that choice. But my obligation is first to do what the Lord has called me to do. And so then that has caused some friendships to not be there anymore.
Wow. Even in the pro-life world?
Not in the pro-life world, just in the outside world,
Yes,
like
okay,
when you have,
okay.
Friends that aren't Christians, and
right.
even friends that are Christians that haven't taken that pro-life stance, because that exists as well. So it has been, there have been seasons of it being challenging, but I think that the reward at the end of that is so much greater. So yeah, absolutely, I would say it has cost some relationships, but I think that's good.
In heaven, man,
Yeah,
the gain is heaven, right?
definitely.
And doing what God has called you to do.
And this is not my background. I was in telecom. Never even thought I would be in pro-life anything. So this is not where I saw myself, but the Lord had a very different plan for what
I
that was
love
going to look
that,
like.
Erica.
And I think I voted pro-life, but I didn't know what it meant to actually do that, walk
Yes.
that out and work that out. And so I think that a lot of times we don't know what that looks like. But this has been the greatest gift to our family. My husband always says, I say to my husband, thank you for doing what you do so that I get to do this. But my husband always tells, even in the job that he has, that this work that we're doing is not real important, but what my wife gets to do
Wow.
every day, that is the
Wow.
life-changing, serious job.
Because it's
So,
not just the life change for the moment.
yeah.
It's for eternity.
It's for eternity. And we're trying to change generations.
Yes.
And then changing that mama's world and purview means that her children are going to come
right.
to know
and
the
breaking
Lord.
the cycle that maybe has been in place for generations. Breaking
Yes.
that cycle to bring a woman to the understanding of her value in Christ,
Right.
her value, her imago
Day. Yeah.
her
Absolutely.
image. She is an image bearer of the one who created her, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining me
Thank
today.
you
It's such
so
a pleasure
much.
to
It
know
was
you. I hope I
nice.
get to know you more.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and we just want you to know we are so grateful that you've joined us for this next section of our podcast at the SBC Women's Expo. And so thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time in just a few moments, actually. God bless.